going to see one word in all of these watts. We're going to talk about lure speed, lure size, lure shape, lure action, and lure color. There's going to be one word when we break down each one of these that's going to show up in every single one of these 5 breakdowns, and that word is going to be baitfish. Guys, if you don't understand what kind of baitfish live in your lake, how it acts at different times of the year, your chance of maximizing your catch goes way, way down. You have to understand baitfish. I don't care what you fish for. You have to understand the baitfish. So what are we trying to do with the speed of the lure? And again, remember that as we're working, whatever's at the top, the higher up the list an item is, the more important it is. Okay? So we're going to get to color. I'm not saying color is not important. I'm saying color is not important until all of these are right. You're better off to have a lure above the fish at the right speed and have it be the wrong color than you are to have the right color at the wrong speed and not where the fish can see it. Okay? So we're working from the top. We get the location, depth of water, how deep are the fish, where our lures go. Then we start working this way down the list. Okay? So, speed of lure. Try to match the swimming speed of baitfish. Sounds pretty generic, but it's true. If you watch a shad go through the water in 72-degree water, it moves completely different than a smelt moves going through 45-degree water. So you want the speed of your lure to match what the fish are feeding. Okay? Very, very simple. If you want to get really simple about it, the warmer the water, the faster you should be going. The colder the water, the slower you'll be going. Now, we're going to do some advanced seminars on that because I think that is wrong. I got some data to prove that. But for general rules of purpose, colder the water, the slower you can go. Warmer the water, the faster you can go. Use lure styles that work inside that speed range. Now, if you're like me, you're a crankbait junkie. You've got 17 million crankbaits, right? Crankbait specifically, each bait is designed to work inside a speed range. Some work better low speeds, some work better at high speeds. It's important that when you try to figure out where you're going to try to get your lure speed, that you pick lures that work. You don't want to be going 2.5, 2.7, 2.8 in the summertime and put a number 13 Rapala in the water. Ain't going to work, right? Conversely, trying to fish a Hottentot at 0.8, 0.9, 1 mile an hour, the bait's just going to do this and not have its action. So every lure has a speed range it really excels at. In the middle is what we call shad baits, kind of like shad wraps, rip shads, Berkeley flicker shads, those types of baits. Those work good at the top end of the slow spectrum and all the way up through the high speed. So shad baits you can fish every day. The decision is, do I put high speed baits in with my shad baits, or do I put what we call minnow baits, long skinny baits, in with my shad baits? So you want to mix your bait styles, but make sure they work inside the speed range that you're trying to duplicate that day. Changes of speeds can trigger fish, slowing up, speeding up, slowing down, churning the boat. All those things make a difference, and that's all part of the presentation process, trying to figure out what's happening. Pay attention to this, right? Did I catch fish when I turned? If I turn, the outside, the lure that's the furthest from the outside is going to be going the fastest. The lure that's closest to the boat is going to be going the slowest. So pay attention. I turn, all of a sudden I start to catch fish on the outside offshore board. Maybe I need to go a little faster, okay? Or maybe you don't need to go faster. You need to keep going the speed you're going and just keep turning. Because sometimes it's not the speed, it's actually the turn. I know a lot of guys will slow down and speed back up, and they'll slow down and speed up. And all of a sudden they'll catch fish. They'll go from, let's say, 1.6 to 2.5. And they go from 1.6 to 2.5 and they catch fish. They do it again, they catch another one. And they go 2.5 and don't catch anymore. Well, you got to understand that it wasn't 2.5, it was the change from 1.6 to 2.5. So you got to constantly be changing your speed. Pay attention to what happens when you catch a fish, be able to duplicate it and see if it really does make a difference. And then be able to measure and duplicate successful speeds. Easiest way is speed over ground on your GPS. We've been working a lot the last couple of years with apparatuses that go down below and actually give us depth and speed where our lures are running. You'd be amazed sometimes what the difference is, even in shallow water, especially in a place like Lake Erie, we get lots of current. More on that to come later, but easiest way to do this is speed over ground on your GPS, okay? So once we get the speed dialed in, we start catching one or two, again, the right location, right depth of water, got our lures in the right place. We start, speed is the easiest thing to change, right? So we change our speed, boom, catch a fish. We know our speed has to be between 2 miles an hour and 2.2. Just use that for an example. So now we got our speed dialed in. Now we can start working down the list again.